Yo, GamerGate has officially been killed, guys. Apparently, woke propaganda aimed at gamers seemingly pushed with US taxpayer dollars. This is a huge thing that just came out a few hours ago, and this is breaking news. This literally confirms the conspiracies that we've thought against gamers that were all part of this Gamergate nonsense, and Doge exposed it all. So the Trump administration has uncovered a number of media outlets that have been pushing woke propaganda on video game players was done with US taxpayer dollars and funded by the government. So the government actually got involved with this, which again confirms everything that we've thought about it, where certain DEI and ESG and all this crap is literally being pushed by the government, the woke side of the government to be specific, because now the new administration's in here and they're getting rid of this crap, especially with Doge. Now, the press secretary, Caroline Levitt, shared this in a press briefing just earlier today. So check this out. Listen to this and check it out.
So upon coming out here to the briefing room, I was made aware of the funding from USAID to media outlets, including Politico, who I know has a seat in this room. And I can confirm that the more than 8 million taxpayer dollars that have gone to essentially subsidizing subscriptions to Politico on the American taxpayers' dime will no longer be happening. The Doge team is working on canceling those payments now. Again, this is a whole of government effort to ensure that we are going line by line when it comes to the federal government's books. And this president and his team are making decisions across the board on, do these receipts serve the interests of the American people? Is this a good use of the American taxpayers' money? If it is not, that funding will no longer be sent abroad, and American taxpayers will see significant savings because of that effort.
Wow. So to be exact, that quote was that they were made aware of funding from USAID to media outlets, including Politico, guys, who had a seat in that press secretary room, which, bless her heart, calling them out. They've received more than $8 million in taxpayers' money. Wow. So this is like a huge unearthing here, guys. This, again, like I said, confirms that there was definitely an agenda here. This is a huge blow to the woke liberal media. 110%. You see X user Solioneth reacted to these comments and shared various screenshots from political articles where the outlet is defaming video game players and specifically those engaged in Gamergate. The user wrote, "People have wondered if our tax dollars were used to promote wokeness in video games. The answer is yes. USAID paid political media millions a year to write pieces like this one, which promotes diversity and describes Gamergate as disinformation and harassment campaign." So here's all these examples that they had. Now, unfortunately, we don't have a link to the exact tweet unless this is it right here. Let's go ahead and take a look. Let's click it. Take a look at this. Politico. This is literally an article taken from Politico, where it says the status handoff of Washington's most famous gamer from a libertarian-leaning white man to two millennial socialist women of color is in some ways the perfect summation of how video games have changed in recent years. So just look at all this. The harasser's motivation to drive people they dubbed SJWs for their progressive values and their desire to see more realistic depictions of women and minorities in video games out of the industry. So they're literally pushing that crap that you see people like Mercante and Kotaku and IGN saying that there's hate campaigns, hate mobs. Like, these are just examples of what you see in some of these articles from Politico that has anti-gamer rhetoric. Look at this. Pushing that games have always been big and diverse and disparate as TV and books and movies. They played and made by people who just want to zone out with some dumb entertainment. Video games don't belong to a 31-year-old. Look at this. Any more than they belong to reactionary Reddit trolls. So that's what you always hear. Reactionary. Like we're a bunch of reactionary, misinformed men. This is literally an agenda here, guys, that has been exposed. You see, they also called Gamergaters Nazis. Literal Nazis like Andrew Anglin or folks from the Gamergate community. Notice there's no comma separating the two. Taxpayers' money went into all of this, guys. And they're being called out hardcore. Look at this. So you're telling me a bunch of autistic 4chaner retards were going head to head with a U.S. government funded propaganda machine, and these gaming artists were so fed up they managed to overall win that battle versus the fucking unlimited funding of the U.S.? I mean, the conspiracy's here, the fix is in, and now Doge is doing God's work. No longer is this money going to be used to fund woke programs, to fund bullcrap, to fund nonsense. This is something that's going to be big, guys. This is literally going to affect the gaming industry as you know it. And that I've seen other rumors too that feminist frequency was given foreign aid in this. Yeah, Anita Sarkeesian allegedly was given foreign aid for this. I've also seen BBC has received money. This is nuts. And I feel like I'm not even doing this story justice. We're going to be seeing more and more people talk about this, including Grums. Look at this. He said, nah, that can't be true. Searches. Holy shit. USAID paid Politico to have GamerGate smeared. And here's just some screenshots about it. In this article from Fandom Pulse, shouts to them, says, now obviously it's unclear where that $8 million of funding was spent, but clearly Politico articles are being written to smear gamers and those part of Gamergate. It's not hard to imagine that at least some of the $8 million was spent to smear Gamergate. What do you make of Politico receiving $8 million in funding? This is a mess. Now this was exposed like a few hours ago. And I think we're just going to see the start of it right here. Look at this. Gamers really are the most oppressed class. Look at this. DHS and the DoD both targeted gamers during Gamergate. The whole system wanted to destroy the movement. They were over target too often, I suppose. This is absolute nuts. Like why would they focus so much on games as something here? Let's see what some of these quote tweets might be. USAID actively pushed the Gamergate harassment gaslight since the first incidents of gamers calling out game journalist nepotism by donating millions. Can't say I'm surprised. Imagine being American, having your own government smear you, and you footing the tax bill for it. That's basically what it is. It's our tax money is going to insult us. It's going to literally fund articles, woke propaganda against us, the consumers that buy these games. We literally are the main demographic, especially as middle-aged men. We're the main demographic, and this is literally our tax dollars being used against us. This is ridiculous. I can't believe this is going on, guys. Just take a look at it. I'm sure we're going to see a lot more stuff being exposed coming out of this whole thing. But I just want to give my quick thoughts. This is so sad to see that this was what was going on with our money. And I thank God that it's being uncovered and it's being exposed. And no more funding will be used for any of this garbage. This woke propaganda that, oh, everything to you is just woke if it has this and that. No, dude. This is literally the definition of an agenda where you have a group of people coming together to promote some kind of narrative, to promote ideologies, spending taxpayers' monies to shove it in our face and shove it down our throat and make us forced to see stuff like this in our entertainment. This is not a conspiracy anymore, guys. This is real life here. And it's wild that the press secretary came out and exposed this and even called out Politico. This Gamergate 2.0 stuff is more wild than the original Gamergate was. And who knows what else is secret? Who knows what else hasn't been uncovered by any of this? And again, like I said, I think this is just the beginning. I think we're going to be seeing some wild stuff come out with Doge going and doing investigations and looking at where money's being spent. Buckle up, guys, because this is just the beginning, honestly. So let me know your thoughts, guys, down below, and I'll see you on the next one.